So that brings me to Nick Fuentes. Do you think he's compromised, or you think he's like legit just trying to? I don't know. I don't know if he's actually like serious about being a Christian, because he says like so many mean things about people, and like, that's in First Corinthians 13. Love is kind. Love does not dishonor others. If I got a chance to talk with him, I would definitely confront him on that. But I'd like to hope that he is like a good intentioned person and he's not like trying to deceive people or anything. But what do you think about him?
Yeah, so I mean, first off, when they want to censor someone, they don't then have them go around and get interviewed by like everyone online. Like they either kill the person or they just take out all of their stuff and they disappear and no one mentions them. So for Nick Fuentes to go around and claim he's like the most censored person on the internet is insane because he's been on some of the biggest podcasts on the internet. His message has gotten out there. Okay. People have heard what he had to say. There's lots of people like myself and Brendan O'Connell and others that never get heard because we mention things that Nick Fuentes will never ever mention about, like the Israeli infiltration of the United States, which the most important aspect of that is they have infiltrated the critical infrastructure of the US. Okay. Our big tech has all been moved over there. Like Microsoft is core coded in Israel. If you go look up, all of the Microsoft R&D centers are now in Israel. Intel Corporation is now R&D built in Israel. Okay, this means they have backdoor access at a like hardware level for all of these types of systems. This is a massive national security crisis. You have these other things like the Pentagon cloud that is now being offshored to Israel. This means they have access to our defense critical infrastructure. This is not an acceptable situation. Nick Fuentes won't mention this stuff. He won't mention, the Talpiot program and these other infiltrations of our high tech critical infrastructure systems. And these are like probably the most important national security questions going on right now. Like, but
And you're saying he's definitely aware of all that, huh?
he's been made aware of it. Yeah. There's
Hmm.
even people that were able to get the Charlie Kirk and hand him flyers on this stuff and like record the interaction. People like Brendan O'Connell have been putting this stuff out for years. People like Whitney Webb were made available, like notified of all this stuff, and people praise her as being one of the, like, but she only went so far. Like she wouldn't go into this stuff even though it's been made well known to people. But it's
Well, do,
extremely
do you think do
important
you
that
think there's a
people.
chance that do you think there's a chance that the reason they're not going into that type of stuff just so that they have less likelihood of being assassinated and they want to stay alive so that they can continue to spread the message that they're spreading, which they think is good overall?
No, I think they're not allowed to. I don't think they're allowed to. If they do, they're not going to be able to get on big podcasts. They're not going to get their message out there. Like this is, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, so maybe like from Nick Fuentes's perspective, like he knows all this critical information, but he also knows that if he talked about it, then he wouldn't have the same
Let's
reach.
let's
And
get into some very specifics about Nick Fuentes. He brought Catboy Cammy over from Australia, right? You remember all
mhm.
this from back in the day?
No, I don't remember. I'm not really that into that world as much as like you are.
Okay, so there was this streamer named Catboy Kimmy who was an Australian and he was living in Australia. And Nick Fuentes, this is a guy that would like do very sexual things on camera that were not exactly straight, like things where he'd insert things into himself, okay, for money on camera. Nick Fuentes brought this guy to the United States, and the two of them did a live stream that was like 12 hours long. And a lot of people referred to it as a 12-hour long date or whatever. This is all documented. You can go look it up. Catboy Cammy then moved in with Baked Alaska. You ever heard of Baked Alaska?
I've heard of him, yeah.
Okay, he was living in Arizona at the time at Baked Alaska's house. At that time, Catboy Cammy was doing live streams on YouTube where he was going on a platform called Omegle, where Omegle is a platform where it pops you up on a video with other people that you don't know on the other half of the screen. And Catboy Cammy was doing this thing where he was going into videos with underage girls and trying to get them to do sexual things. Like one of them, he tried to get to have sex with her dog. Okay. And he was recording this onto YouTube. So I started a investigation with Arizona State Police where we sent them all the links. We gave them interviews about what we had seen, and they started an investigation into Baked Alaska and to Catboy Cammy. After that took place, those two went separate ways. I think Catboy Cammy went back to Australia, and Baked Alaska left his house in Arizona, bought an RV, and took an RV trip that's extremely famous, where he went from city to city, including one where he pepper sprayed a bouncer, which he eventually got sent to jail for, by the way. And then he went all the way to the end of the RV trip, which was January 6th, where Baked Alaska went into the January 6th building and was one of the people like on the state senator's phone doing selfies and stuff in the Capitol building. Okay. During Baked Alaska's trial, it came, and this is a good friend of Nick Fuentes. In Baked Alaska's plea agreement, it says in court documents, it says uh, no additional like whatever like indictment will take place so long as he continues to oblige to help with additional investigations, right? So in Baked Alaska's court documents, it states that he's a federal informant, that he's going to, get no more punishment so long as he apply like helps out with additional investigations. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And all the people that went into the building at the orders of Nick Fuentes on January 6th all got massive prison sentences, right? Nick
Mm-hmm.
Fuentes got nothing, absolutely nothing,
So Fuentes
right?
was encouraging people to breach the Capitol and everything?
Yeah, he told people this video of him saying this, and he got no trouble at
Oh.
all. Originally, they took like a couple 100,000 Bitcoin he got from some French guy, but he had got that money back and he never told anyone he got it back, but the
You
government
would you
gave
would
that money.
think that the powers that be would look for any excuse to put Fuentes in jail, and it seems like they do have a reason to put him in jail based on what you're
And
telling me.
and then Nick Fuentes also claims that he was put on a no-fly list because of January 6th. That's bullshit. He was put on a no-fly list because he threw some hissy fit on a flight. That has nothing to do with January 6th. He got basically in the middle of a flight, he threw a hissy fit at one of the stewardesses, and then after that, he was put on a no-fly list because he
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know what it was about, but some sort of incident took place while he was on a flight, and then he tried to claim that that happened because of January 6th, completely unrelated incident, right? So he suffered no punishment for what happened on January 6th. Neither did Alex Jones, by the way, or Roger Stone. And those three guys were all there, all encouraging people to go into the building. And like, have
And
you
that's
ever
documented
seen
too.
the documentary Shadowgate?
Mm-mm.
Not seen this. Shadowgate was originally published by Alex Jones on Infowars. It was a documentary by Millie. I forget her name, but she's no longer with Infowars. In it, they interview a whistleblower named Patrick Berge. Okay. Patrick Berge talks about IIA, which is Interactive Internet Activities Group. It's a defense group, PSYOPs, military psychological warfare, stuff they used in Iraq, right, to influence the local population. It's no longer just like releasing pamphlets from airplanes. This has now moved into the digital realm. And when Obama undid the uh, was it Smith Mund Act in 2012 with the National Defense Authorization Act, it became legal for the U.S. government to do psychological warfare against the citizens. Like they can now lie to the U.S. citizenry, and they can do military psyops against U.S. population, right? And if you look at like Infowars since 2012 till now, you'll notice a complete difference in their reporting. They're no longer, exposing the lie of the two-party paradigm. It's all about leftists and trannies and whatever. It's
Mm-hmm.
completely controlled IIA ops.
Yeah,
People like
and then
Roger
also like,
Stone are connected to Dynology. He's connected to a couple different generals that were in charge of this type of stuff. It's all been documented in that documentary Shadowgate, which Infowars took down off their website almost immediately. And it's now like only available on places like BitChute where you can still find it.
mm, dang. Yeah, and then Alex Jones totally like apologized to James Alefantis for the pie fence stuff, and that's like that was just a complete like blatant betrayal, in my opinion. And then I also so wait a minute. So you're saying that Baked Alaska, and then what was that guy's name that was doing the Omegle stuff to get the
Cowboy
underage
Camp.
people? Yeah, so him and Baked Alaska did that on Omegle together.
He was in Baked Alaska's house
Oh, okay.
the whole time he was doing it. And we know that because we're able to, the time of day matched up with sunlight in the window and things of that nature. Like we're able to figure it out very easily. So we
And
even figured
then
out which room in Baked Alaska's house he was in.
oh, hmm. Wow, and then you also looked into Nick Fuentes and Destiny like making a gay porn together, right?
Yeah, I saw the stuff on Twitter about that. I don't know about that. Yeah, I mean,
I
I
mean, that'd
saw
be
like
pretty crazy if that was
Kino,
true.
I saw Kino Casino and other like YouTubers cover that. I don't know that much about it. I think it's funny. Yeah,
Oh.
I think it's probably true, but I don't know.
Well, Tucker Carlson talked Nick or called Nick Fuentes gay, and then Tucker Carlson was like kind of like taking jabs at Nick Fuentes and called him gay and a bunch of other stuff. And Nick Fuentes like came back, but he didn't deny like the accusation that he was gay or anything.
Yeah,
So
he does
I
seem a
thought that
bit.
was kind of interesting.
I mean, if you go look at the Catboy Cammy Nick Fuentes date,
Hmm.
I would say that's enough proof there, right? Like, if you go and watch the stuff by Brendan O'Connell, he kind of breaks down. He's done like a whole, like, basically, so like they've controlled media for ages by having sexual deviance, right, in media. And that's how they controlled them with blackmail, with stuff like Epstein Island, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nick Fuentes is clearly like some sort of weird sexual deviant. Okay. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's gay or whatever, but whatever it is, I think that's probably how they control him, right? One of the things we looked into was like huge number of his like audience were these dudes on Twitter that had like anime profiles, But you went and looked, they were all using this like little snowflake thing. And all those accounts that were using that were also posting like lolly, which is not illegal, but it's super fucking creepy. See what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah.
and that's just like a huge like number of like his inner circle of his like little Twitter people, you know. So like, what type of person is he? What type of people is he surrounding himself with? It's just, I mean, and they had that guy Ali Alexander, right? Did you hear about Ali Akbar?
No.
He's that guy. He's like, I don't know what type of ethnicity he is, but it doesn't matter. He was like trying to groom underage groypers. So he was like trying to, especially this one that was like, I don't remember the age, but he was underage, and his name was Smiley. And when this all came out, Nick Fuentes just blew it off and tried to like brush it under the rug. But this dude was using his position inside America First to like try to make sexual advances at underage like groypers, basically. And he was one of the like inner circle of Ali Akbar. He's like one of these big right wing political figures. If you look him up,
Mm.
you'll see what I'm talking about. He was one of the three people that was telling people to go in on January 6th, right? It was like Roger Stone, Alex Jones, Fuentes, and Ali Akbar were like the main big four, I would say, right?
Hmm. So you said that the Nick Fuentes like fans were posting lolly. What does lolly mean?
It's that weird anime stuff where it's depicting like underage girls, I would say, right? But
Hmm.
it's cartoons. So it's not illegal, it's just creepy and like not right, in my opinion.
So basically, you're saying that like he should have easily gotten in trouble for encouraging people to breach the Capitol, and he's kind of surrounded by like his inner circle seems to be like some pretty shady like pedophilic type of people.
Yeah, like Ali Akbar. Exactly.
Dang, man, that's really unfortunate for me to hear about. It makes me it makes me a lot more suspicious about Fuentes. Um, but
And the sad
anyways,
thing is like his message is a lot of the times right. So like he actually does say a lot of truths, right? You can take clips of Fuentes and it'll be stuff that I completely agree with in like a small clip of what he's saying. But
mm-hmm.
then you like see this stuff going on and it just raises questions, you know? So